All right, friends. So I'm just getting myself set up. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay in the chat. And then we can get started doing some skeining. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day. Did some phone calls that had to get done this morning, vacuumed, and now I'm crafting with you people. It should be lovely. Let me see if I can angle this down a little bit. Pardon the camera wiggling. All right. So right now I've got these 3 skeins. Hi, Perla. It's nice to see you. I've got these 3 skeins. These 2 are both fin, and then this one is some odds and ends, which we plied in the live stream last week. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this little red skein because I think it'll be nice and easy to get us started. I like my PVC Nitty Naughty. I find that works very well for me. I've used other Nitty Naughties and this works just as well as any other for me, so it's what I like to use. And I have a video, one of my first skeining videos, I link the tutorial that I used for how to make one of these because they're very easy and inexpensive to make, which is pretty fantastic. And then when you're winding, you just want to go over, under, just following that pattern. And that will wind a big loop for you on your Nitty Naughty, which I'll show you when I pull it off. But this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be skeining up some yarn, which is just some work that I've been putting off. It needed to get done, and I've just been kind of holding off on it because it's not my favorite part about making yarn, but it is a necessary step. So here we are doing it together. Oops. I'm almost done with this first skein. And then I'll get it all tied and wrapped up, and then I'll be able to show you how it looks. Just try not to upset my mic or camera in the process, which should be a little bit tricky, but I think I can do it. So I've just got my cone of scrap yarn. I don't know what the fiber content on this is. It's just a cone of yarn that I picked up at my local yarn store for tying ends of yarn. And then I'm just going to locate the 2 ends and make sure I secure each of those pretty well because I don't want this coming undone or getting tangled, especially in the washing process. That can sometimes happen. So I am going to tie this in a total of 4 places, which is what I typically do. What do you think of this camera angle? Should I change it so that you can see a little bit better? Let me know in the chat because I thought that would be a good place for it, but now I'm kind of reconsidering. Because you can't really see a ton of what I'm doing with my hands, which is kind of the point of the video. Hi, Laura! It's nice to see you. Oh my goodness, so many fabulous friends here today. Oh, All right, I'm going to tie this in one more spot and then I will rearrange that camera. And hopefully that will help things a little bit. Hi, Laura. Thank you for the hearts. All right. Let's see now. I can angle this down. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So I'm skeining this up. I've got 2 ties on it so far, right here and right here. And then I'm going to put a tie on the other 2 kind of lengths, I guess. There's 4 total, and I've already tied 2, so I'm going to tie the other 2 now. Do you like this yarn, Perla? I like it. I like the red and the kind of darker, almost maroon. It was almost black in the fiber, which was pretty cool. Cozy bricks. Ah, I like that. Like maybe a backsplash above a wood burning stove. Very cozy. I like that. All right. So I have now tied this in 4 places. Fall vibes for sure. Oh, yes. I love what you guys are saying. I totally agree. All right. So then when I pull this off of my Nitty Naughty, actually, I just caught a mistake right here on the live stream. Look at that. I missed one of my strands. So now, before I take this off, making sure I didn't miss anywhere else, looks like that's the only place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my tie right here, my brown yarn, and I'm going to redo it, making sure that I catch that strand that was escaping me on the first try. That does not usually happen to me. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I'm also really glad that I caught it on camera because you can always make mistakes like that, even if you've been doing something like this for a long, long time. Mistakes happen, and you've gotta check your work and just be careful because that probably wouldn't have ruined this skein because I do have 3 other nice ties, but it certainly would have been risky to let that strand hang out loose and untied. So I'm glad I caught it. All right. So now we should be done tying this skein. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate one of these and set it aside. And there is our skein. You see it has a little bit of curl to it. That is not abnormal. That's to be expected. Especially before you've washed yarn, it tends to have a little bit of extra twist action in it. That's not uncommon. That's not something to worry about. It's just something that can happen or something that does happen when you first ply your yarn and before you wash it. All right. So here we've got our nice squishy skein. This is much redder in real life than it's appearing on the camera. It's kind of more of an orange on camera. But in real life, some of these strands are a nice bright red. Some are a little bit darker with kind of a blackish cast. So yeah, that's our first little mini skein. And what we're going to do next is work through the rest of the mini skeins that are on this bobbin. So the spinning and plying of this bobbin hasn't actually come out yet. That's a video that's going to come out on Friday. And I say in that video that this is a bobbin with 6 mini skeins on it that I've just chain plied all together. And while I pull this off, so as I get through this orange section, before I get to the yellow, I'm just going to cut my yarn. And then I'm going to have 6 little mini skeins in a rainbow gradient. So I'm going to get my Nitty Naughty back out and start working on the orange section of this yarn. The orange and the yellow are pretty similar in color, so I'm going to have to be careful not to start skeining up too much of the yellow. As you can see on my Nitty Naughty, this is a pretty yellow looking orange, but it is technically the orange shade in this 6-color rainbow. Ooh, Perla's intrigued. Are you intrigued by how I'm making this into mini skeins or by something else? I'm curious. It's mesmerizing, Laura says, to watch me skein up this yarn. I find that a lot of things in spinning are mesmerizing or a little hypnotic. It's rhythmic. There are a lot of rhythmic steps to spinning and plying and skeining. So I agree with you, Laura. It is mesmerizing. And Perla says that she's intrigued by the mini skeins. So you'll have to watch the video that's coming out on Friday. I already finished it. Here we are getting to the yellow, so I'm just finding the best spot to cut my yarn. But the video that's coming out on Friday at noon Eastern time is going to be all about this rainbow skein and how I'm splitting it up into mini skeins. I saw the fiber in one of your videos, so I'm curious to see them now as yarn. Yeah, so you probably saw this in the beginning of that spinning blue fin video, because this is the rainbow fin that I got at the same time from the same fiber artist. She dyed all of the fin that I bought from her. And I also have a link to her shop in the video descriptions if you are interested in getting your own and spinning your own version of this yarn. As always, let me know if you have any questions or comments or you want clarification, because I am happy to give that to you. All right, where's my other end? Sometimes they get lost and you have to do some digging, but I found it. So I'm just tying knots, basic overhand knot, and doing a double knot because that way it's not going anywhere. And the other thing that I'm doing is making a figure 8, which I'm going to attempt to show you how I do now. So what I do is I take my fiber right here. I'll prop this up against one of my bobbins and hopefully it stays still so you can see what I'm doing. So what I do is I take this section of yarn and I split it in half, just like that, and pass this yarn through those 2 halves And then, this is a little tricky to do so that you can see it. And then I wrap this around and pass it back through the middle, and that creates a little figure 8 that separates these two sections. And that just kind of helps secure your strands a little more effectively than if you just did one larger loop. Hopefully that made sense. Laura asked, which color in this rainbow was your favorite to spin? I think my favorite to spin was either the purple or the blue, because those are my favorite colors, which we will be getting to in a little bit. But the blue, Laura, I bought a full 4 ounces of just the blue and spun that. Hang on, I'll grab it and show you. So this is just the blue. And I really, really liked spinning this. I've got a whole video out about this skein because it was my first Tour de Fleece spin. And I really liked this. So I think probably the blue, maybe the purple, but one of those two was probably my favorite. All right, and then I'm going to do one more of those figure 8 ties on this skein, and then we can move on to the yellow. Laura says, oh my, that is so pretty. And I think she's talking about that blue that I just held up. And I agree. I got the rainbow one, and then I was trying to decide which other color I wanted. And I was pretty sure I wanted the blue, but the purple was a very close runner-up. All right. And then I'm going to check my work just to make sure I don't have any loose bits hanging off again, any strands that should be attached and aren't. Because that scared me a little bit last time. I don't want to accidentally do that. So here we have our skein. You can see it's also got a little bit of extra twist to it, which is normal. That will work its way out when you wash it. I wash in warm water. I have a bunch of videos out about my washing process. So feel free to go and check those out. I'm going to make this half as big of a circumference as the 2-yard skein that it is, because I think mini skeins look cuter when they're doubled up like that. All right, so here's our orange next to our red. And those are the ones we've skeined up so far. And next is yellow. I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's really nice to have company for this process. But if there's something else you'd like to see as a live video, let me know, because I'm planning on doing these every week, every Wednesday, around 1 o'clock, moving forward, unless I have something that I can't reschedule. So let me know if there's anything you would like to see. Next week, I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for August. So we're going to be doing something that's still crafty, but not yarn crafty. Oh, I'm keeping you company while you pack to move, Laura. That's exciting. I'm glad I'm able to keep you company while you pack. I'm being very careful not to hit my mic with my nitty naughty, because I think that would be disastrous. Don't think you guys would appreciate that. So every so often, this yarn is getting tangled around the bottom of my bobbin. But that's okay. I just have to take it slow and be aware of that. All right, and now we have made it through the yellow and onto the green. So it's time to cut the yarn and get this all tied up. Do I have a plan for this yarn yet? I do not. I have all these beautiful mini skeins and the matching blue, but I'm not entirely sure. I think in my video I said maybe a weaving project because I think that would be fun. But I'm also not a very accomplished weaver, so I'd have to think about it and do some planning. But I spun it all to match, so it should all be the same yarn weight between these mini skeins and the larger skein of blue. Macaroon shawl. Is that one of Emily's patterns? Emily of Kitty with a Cupcake? Because she has, I think, a couple different shawl patterns, but I'm not super familiar with them. Maybe I'll have to check that out, Perla. Thank you for the recommendation. That is helpful. Bear's not quite snoring, but he's breathing loudly in the background. He's laying on his bed all cozy. I don't know if you know this, but Bear is pretty much present in all my videos, just sleeping off screen. He's a cutie. All right, here we have our yellow. So I'll get this wrapped up and then I'll hold it up with the other ones. And you can see all three of our skeined up colors together. Paper Daisy 1 also has a lot of shawl patterns that use minis. Okay, that's good to know. I'm going to write these down, Perla, so I don't forget them or lose them in the chat. But first, there's the first half of our rainbow. Look at those pretty colors. All right, I'm going to write down the macaroon shawl. And Paper Daisy 1. It sounds like you guys are big fans of the mini skeins. I'm glad. Hi, Katie. Nice to see you in chat too. Just snipping off this section that has both yellow and green because I don't really want to have that in either of my skeins. either the yellow or the green, so I'm just gonna cut it and set it aside as a scrap piece of yarn. I keep all my scraps in this water bottle, which you might recognize Perla because it's from the Archer and Olive subscription box. But I like keeping all of my little yarny odds and ends. I find that it's oops, just pulled those right out. I find that it's nice to kind of keep scraps, and I like that it builds up in layers so I can see where my different projects are. So like we've got some purple down here at the bottom, we've got some natural color here, some rainbow and some brown. So I know what all these projects go along with, or all these yarns. All right. All right, we've got our first 3 skeins done. We're making good progress. I think we're probably halfway done with what's on the bobbins, which is really great news. Oh, Katie says that she has a jar of yarn scraps too. Don't we all? I think if you do fiber crafts, it's a just something that kind of happens to you. I also have another jar here. Pardon my reach. Which is embroidery floss odds and ends, which I'm thinking, Laura, that at some point we might get together and make paper again, do a paper making project and get some of these threads in the paper. I think that would be a super cool project. But that's a future project. I've got enough going on right now that I'm not sure I have the bandwidth to schedule something like that right now. And I'm sure you're busy too, Laura. You're moving. Oh, you say, yes, those would look so pretty in paper. I agree. That's why I've been saving them. We've got to get together at some point once you're settled in after your move and we can do paper making again. I think that would be a really fun day. Maybe we can record it if you want. All right, almost done with the green. Laura says, ooh, we could take some green floss and float it in paper with some pressed flowers and have vines. That would be so cool. Oh, we have to do that. We definitely have to do that. I can get flowers from the garden, at least this time of year. And we'll definitely be able to do that. Just fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited now. That'll be fun. We'll definitely have to do that. All right, we've got all the green, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip this yarn. And then we're going to tie up the green. I like this green a lot too. I know I was talking about how much I loved the blue and the purple, but I also really like a nice strong green like this. So if I haven't mentioned, these mini skeins that I'm making are all from a larger braid of fiber by Sadie Spins Yarn. So if you're a spinner like me and you want to make your own set of mini skeins, feel free to check her out. Her website is sadiespinsyarn.com. And I think she has some of these in stock. So go check that out. If you want to, of course. All right, one more tie. We're doing great, friends. We're making such good progress. We've been here half an hour and we've already done 4 skeins. They're mini skeins, but we did them. Plus, we had a couple little diversions. So I think that's good. I think we're making good progress. Just checking, making sure we don't have any ends that aren't attached, because, like I said, that spooked me earlier. Here's our green, which I'm going to get wound up, and then I'll hold up the mini skeins again, because I am finding that process very satisfying, and it seems like you guys are really appreciating it too. All right, so here's the green. Oh, look at that. Look at that variation in color. Beautiful. And even better, all together. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful rainbow. All right. Now it's time to get into the greens, or sorry, the blue. Deep ocean emerald vibe. I think you're right, Laura. I see that. It definitely has emerald vibes. It's a little bit less oceany than the camera makes it look. Just because this camera is not picking up color the best. But it's still beautiful, and I'll post pictures on Instagram later so that the actual colors are available somewhere so you can actually see them. Plus, like I said, the video that comes out on Friday is pretty good color. The colors are pretty realistic to what they look like in real life. All right, so here's our blue. I found that the blue mini skein, or mini braid, I guess, was much less variegated than the larger 4-ounce skein that I have. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute once I have this all skeined and tied up. But the other blue has like some sections of really nice, some really nice sections of dark blue. And this doesn't really have those, which is fine. But I do prefer the sections that have dark blue. I think that they're really, really pretty. All right, almost done. Just the last couple feet before we get to purple. All right, I'm going to take a water break because I'm thirsty. Not that this is hard work, but I'm talking a lot, so I guess that gets a little bit tiring. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Ooh, does anybody want to see the new stickers I have? We got a big yes. That's all I needed. Just one big yes. So these I showed in my video that came out on Monday about the Umbara Rolags, because I packed a couple in the order for Lauren, and I showed me packing the order at the very end of the video. But look at that. It's holographic. These are going out with all my new orders. And honestly, if anybody just asks me, I'll totally send you one because I am super in love with these stickers. I haven't stuck any anywhere for myself yet, but like, look at how gorgeous that is. And with that rainbow shimmer behind it, thank you, Perla. They are so cool. I'm really, really happy. So those are my new stickers. I got Alex to modify the drawing that Laura did way back when I originally started my business. Laura did a couple sketches, and one of them was this kind of, we had like a really elegant Rapunzel, which is still on my Instagram and Etsy. I haven't switched over to this new one. But we had this very elegant Rapunzel that was spinning her own hair at a spinning wheel. And then we also drew what we called Punzi, which is this girl all wrapped up in her hand knits with a ball of yarn, and long hair. And then Alex went in and modified her a little bit, because originally we had her as a blonde, because Rapunzel is blonde canonically, but I'm not. And so we wanted it to look a little bit more like me. So he went ahead and made her a brunette and altered the colors a little bit. And then put the little logos on and my name so that it can be handed out as like a cute little thing. Katie asks, where did you create that? It's so cute. So Alex, my boyfriend, designed the sticker. He's a very talented artist. And he used the website and company sticker app to print it. So that's where we got the stickers. Hopefully that answers your question. But if you want to know who originally designed the sticker, that would be Laura in the chat. She is a very, very talented artist and just cranked that out in like an evening for me because she's super cool. Laura says, I love the changes. She's so cute. I agree. And I think I'm going to alter my Etsy and Instagram so that that's my like official logo everywhere so that we don't have any confusion. That's my plan. Perla says, great job, Laura. I couldn't agree more. All right. So now we've got another skein. Here's the blue. And I'll get this wrapped up and then I'll show you a comparison between this and the larger skein, because I wanted to show you how this has a little bit less color variation in it, which is just fine. It's a different batch, I imagine. So see, this one has like some darker sections which aren't showing up great on the camera, but they are there. Whereas this is much more uniform. Hopefully you can see that. And here are our first 5. Look at that beautiful rainbow. I love it. It's making me so happy. And now we just have one color left of our rainbow. And then we have 2 other skeins on another bobbin. And then that will be the rest of this live stream, I think. So now we're going to get on with the purple. Yeah, I'm really, really liking this rainbow. It's making me very happy. Definitely gonna make an Instagram post and show off these pretty colors because they really are quite nice. I'm getting to the end of the bobbin, so it keeps getting a little bit tangly, but that's okay. Oop, Perla is enjoying this purple. I am unsurprised by that, Perla. I know you are a purple fan, much like myself. It's a really nice purple too. I'm a big fan. A big, big fan. Perla's reacting to what I'm saying, and I think I'm entertaining her a bit. So on this skein, we're going to actually have, I think, 5 ties because 2 of them are going to be pretty close together. And I'll show you why once I get this second one done. So what I have here are my 2 ends, and they're about an inch apart when they're held all the way. Actually, they're pretty much at the same spot when they're held all the way against the skein. So I've got my 2 ties here and here, which are pretty close together. So I'm going to just have 1 tie on each of the remaining sides of this, just for security. Hopefully that made sense. And then we will have all 6 of the mini skeins done. And they are looking so good. I'm definitely going to have to look at some patterns later and see if I'm going to be casting this on as soon as it's washed, which is possible. Because I love casting on exciting new projects, particularly when I'm still enthusiastic about them. And I'm still very enthusiastic about this because, well, I only just finished plying it a couple days ago. All right, one more tie, and then our mini skeins will be done. And I will hold up this purple to show you. And I'm sure we'll get some more appreciation oohs and ahs at that point because these are going to look really, really good all laid out next to each other. So it's got a lot of active twist in it. I think that might be because it was on the very end of the bobbin, but I'm not sure. But washing it should get that all out. I'm not too worried about having too much twist in this yarn. All right. So now we have all 6 mini skeins right here. What do you think of that? I'm very happy. The colors are a little bit more vibrant in real life. They're a little bit washed out on the camera, but you can still see how gorgeous they are. I really, really love the variation on these two skeins, especially the purple and the green. The purple has like pink and lavender and lilac, and the green has just this nice variation of like forest greens. Yes, Laura, very dimensional. So I think whatever this decides it wants to be, because I don't make the decision, the yarn does. Whatever this decides it wants to be, it's going to be beautiful. All right, so we can set these aside and get to our last bobbin. So this we plied in the last weekly video, the last weekly live stream. We've got some odds and ends here, which I'm just going to put together into one big skein. That'll just be an odds and ends skein. And then I have some natural colored dark gray Romney in here underneath the purple as well, which will be another mini skein. Because I think that was just some sampling that I did of one of my fleeces. So get my nitty knotty, make sure all my corners are well attached, find the end of my yarn, and get to skeining. Perla says that those two, the purple and the green, looked really good together. And I agree. But if I use the purple and green for one thing, I'm going to have the rest of the rainbow that needs to do something else. So they're all going to stick together, I think, because if they don't, I don't know what I would do. And I do really like the rainbow of it. So I'm probably going to be sticking with that. And not separating out any of the colors for separate projects. Perla says, stripy socks. I could. I don't think I spun them strong enough to be socks or thin enough. The yarn's, I think, going to poof up a little bit more. And it's already at like a sport or DK weight. So, because it's a 3-ply. I don't remember if I mentioned or not, but I chain plied that yarn. So that all the color transitions would be separate. Yeah. But anyway, I don't think it would be quite strong enough to be socks. All right. Here we go. Just skeining away. Filling up the nitty knotty, taking occasional breaks because my shoulder can't quite sit and skein for a whole hour without taking breaks. I hope you all are doing well today. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm having a pretty good day. Definitely improved by hanging out with some of my friends here. Definitely enjoying that. Laura says she needs to head out, but this has been so fun. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. Thank you, Laura. It was so nice to see you and hang out together, and I hope that you can pop by next week if you're not too busy. Thanks for being here and saying hi. Hearts right back at you. All right, we're almost done with this skein. before we get to the Romney. And this is fairly fine yarn. It's working up as like a fingering or sport weight or fingering or sock weight, but we'll see what it does when we wash it, because I don't really trust the weight of yarn until it's been washed, just because washing can change the shape of your yarn a little bit. All right, so we finished that. I'm just gonna cut where we have the transition of colors and then get back to tying. And then I'll show you this skein, which looks really cool because it was odds and ends from a couple different yarns. So it's mostly purple, but we've got some gray, we've got some black, we've got some blue. It's very pretty. And it'll make a really cool stripy yarn because that's how I designed it. Katie says, I'm new to spinning. Do you remeasure your yarn after you wash it? I do. You can either reskein it, or if you go look at my most recent skeining video, I kind of go through how I do some math. Not scary math. It's very simple. So that you just measure your skein and you don't have to go through the reskeining process. But your yarn will change as you wash it. So I do like to do some sort of remeasuring to make that number a little bit more accurate. Because like this is a 2-yard nitty naughty, but this yarn is probably going to shrink in diameter when I wash it. So it'll poof up and become bigger in circumference, but the overall length will shrink. Hopefully that made sense. And if not, feel free to check out my my most recent how to skein yarn video, because I know I talked about it there and at least one person said it made sense. So, all right, here is this yarn, which you can see has a really fun crinkly texture to it right now, but that'll work out in washing. So no need to worry. And I'm just going to add some twist like this. And then double it up and pass one end through the other. And that's how you make a skein. Now you can see all that variation in color and all the pretty variety that's in this skein. Worked up very nice. So this will be a pretty small skein, but I'll put it with the rest of my scraps. I have a whole big bag of all my scraps of significant length. And this will just live with that until I come up with a project that I need a bunch of scraps for. Sounds like Perla likes the purple yarn, unsurprisingly. And it sounds like what I said made sense to Katie, so that's fantastic. All right, friends, we are on our very last skein. And then I will wrap up this video. But don't go anywhere yet, because we've still got probably 10 or 15 minutes of this before it's time to wrap up. So this is some dark gray Romney, which is a breed of sheep. It's a little bit on the coarser side. It's a medium to coarse wool, but it's very versatile. You can use it for a lot of things. It's very hard wearing, so it's good for like outerwear or other garments. Just not next to skin soft for most people. So I would not recommend making something that's going to be on your neck or on your arms because that's probably going to be uncomfortable. But I really like Romney. I have a whole bunch of Romney fleeces that I still have to process, and several that I've done that I need to pick a project for. And this is just a small amount from one of those fleeces that I have sampled. Unfortunately, I sampled it so long ago, I don't really remember what I did. Oops. We're good. Flying bobbins, that's all. Sometimes I get going a little bit too fast and the bobbin can't quite keep up. And that's what happened there. So I think I might have overestimated when I said 10 or 15 minutes because we are now almost done with this skein. I still have to finish wrapping it up, but I want to say, oops. Katie says I have a bunch of Romney 2 working on washing and carding it. Cool. That is very exciting. I hope that it goes smoothly for you. Are you using hand cards or a drum carder? And then I'm going to go ahead and start tying this. And I guess I will start wrapping up the video since we're at an hour and I am just wrapping up my last skein. So I just want to say if you liked this video, hit the like button so I know you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing a live stream like this every week. And I try to get those scheduled a couple days in advance so you can set up a reminder for yourself whenever you see it. And that's just, if you see the scheduled video right beneath it, it might say something like remind me or notify me. And that just tells you, it like sends you an email and a push notification to your phone when I go live so that you don't miss it. Katie says, my husband is in the process of building me a drum carder. Right now, I've just picked it by hand and have used it on my blending board. That sounds fantastic. My partner is also very crafty. He builds me all kinds of helpful things for my crafting purposes. So I know how nice that is. And I'm sure you are very appreciative of him building a drum carder since those are not cheap. So I'm very happy to hear that, Katie. That's great news. Perla agrees with me. She says, wow, Katie, that's awesome. And I do agree with that. Because fiber equipment is not cheap. Having somebody in your life who can help with that kind of thing is fantastic. My boyfriend built a stand for my drum carder because I'm very tall. So he built a stand for it to sit on, so that I'm not hunched over my my drum carder when I'm carding. And then he also made me my bobbin rack, which is over against the wall next to my blending fibers, which you can see in most of my videos. And it's very handy to have and also very pretty to look at. And he also built me a drying rack that I use when I wash wool, but I don't have that set up at our current housing situation. So here we again have lots of active twist in the yarn. No need to panic. That's normal. It should get a lot better with washing. Katie says he built my spinning wheel too. Wow. What a guy. That is fantastic, Katie. And Dion says, not cheap, but it takes a licking. And I agree with that. My drum carder has lasted quite a while and been through quite a bit. So I agree. They are fantastic pieces of equipment. Just a little bit on the pricier side. So here's our last skein of this nice kind of dark gray with like a silvery sheen. Very, very nice. And that combined with all of our mini skeins is what we've done today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling very proud, very successful, very accomplished with my afternoon. So I'm thrilled. Perla says, Katie, my husband also built me a wheel, and it's a tank complete with 8-ounce bobbins and everything. Crafty husbands are the best. Mine's not a husband, but other than that, I absolutely agree. It's very, very handy to have a crafty person in your life who can do woodwork and the like. Because we do crafts, but maybe not that specific one. Ooh, Dion says, I'm picking some freshly washed Jacob Cross. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, your daughter likes the black skein. That's great. Oh, friends, I don't want to leave. I'm having so much fun. Should we do more skeining or should we wrap up? I'm not sure. But that was all I had planned on doing. What do you think? Because I have up here, I have some caked up balls of yarn that do need to be skeined and put away. So I could do that if we feel like hanging out a little bit longer. And if we're not, we can wrap up. Do we have a preference? Should I do a poll? Feels like a silly thing to do a poll over. But I've got those all in my wash me bin with the label for some of this yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and get this set up here where it goes. And Perla says that she's down to keep hanging out. So we're going to do a little bit more skeining. And if you don't want to come hang out for that, then you can feel free to head out now, but we're going to do a little bit more work. So I've got just some leftovers from some projects I've been doing. Dion asks, are your bins airtight? Yes, they are. They all have a gasketed seal here on the inside, and they clip on like this. So there's no air traveling in and out of these bins. And that's also good for preventing moths and other pests from getting into your fiber, as well as humidity. So I've got this, which I just finished a sweater of. I've got this, which I finished a sweater of a couple months ago. And I've got this, which I've got within reach. So I'm going to show you. So this turned into this, which is a cute frickin' headband, which is kind of too hot to wear. So appreciate the sacrifice I'm making for you right now. But look at that. Look at how freaking cute that is. And that's just some of my Rainbow Pride Rolags, which are available in my Etsy shop. And a super basic pattern that was designed by Lauren of Valkyrie Fibers, which is just a loop with a single cross in it. So that's pretty cool. Rhymes with crayon. Oh God. I'm so sorry. I'm bad at names, and it does not help that I'm doing it all not being able to hear it. So I do sincerely apologize. I'm not I'm not good at names. But thank you for trying to clarify. I do appreciate that, and I will try to do better. Rhymes with crayon. Deanne? Deanne? I don't know. Hopefully that's okay. I'm really sorry if it's not. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one of these in my yarn bowl, and then go ahead and start skeining up. We'll start with this rainbow because it's pretty fun. I guess today is a day of rainbows, huh? Between the other skeining we did of the mini skeins, and now this rainbow. It's a day of rainbows. Dion, I think. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Spelling it out makes it a little bit easier. So if you like this colorway, I did mention I do have it in my Etsy shop. I have it in 2-ounce bundles, and it's Rolags for spinning. So you can spin your own, and it's an automatic self-striping just because of the way the Rolags are designed. I have them in a couple different of Pride colors. So this is the Rainbow Pride, but I also have some Bi Pride and some Trans Pride. So if you are interested in some Pride Rolags, you can feel free to go check those out in my Etsy shop, which I link in most of my videos, but I haven't linked in this one yet. But it's just Rapunzel Fiber Arts on Etsy. If you're interested. It's getting hot here. The air conditioning is on, but I can still feel the temperature rising thanks to the temperature outside. It's not too bad here in Massachusetts compared to some other places, but it's warmer than I'd like. I much prefer cooler temperatures to the heat of summer, although some parts of summer are definitely appreciated. All right, just get the end of this all wrapped up. And these will not need to be washed. These skeins that I'm skeining up now, they have already been washed. And the only reason I'm skeining them now is to get a better estimate of the yardage. Because I've worked a project with this yarn now, I don't really know how much yardage I have. Dion says, I think I'm going to invest in an automatic skeiner. That's exciting. Definitely a worthwhile investment, especially if you skein as much as I do. Or more. I don't know what your life is. Maybe you're skeining every day. What do we think of this yarn? Do we like this rainbow? I'm a pretty big fan. The colors are nice and bright. And I like that the color transitions are pretty short so that you can make something nice and stripy like that headband I showed you. To figure out what to do with the rest of this yarn. I think I have 1 or 2 ounces, so I could make another headband. Or maybe I'll just set it aside as a sample. Or if somebody else decides they want a rainbow headband and I can make it for them. Somebody in my life, you know. Because it was nice and easy to knit up. And it's very cozy. Much too warm for this season, though. But there you go. And you see, this doesn't have that curl at the bottom. The other ones had some twist to them. But this is sitting nice and even. And that's how you know it's a nice balanced yarn. And those other skeins are balanced too. They'll become balanced after the wash. Hopefully that makes sense. So I am just wrapping this up. And then I will get you a nice close-up of what it looks like. Let's see. Get the light pointed at it a little bit better. People are thinking maybe heels, toes, cuffs on socks. That'd be interesting. But I think with the merino, I'd be worried that it would wear, you know, because heels, well, not so much cuffs, but heels and toes would be some of the areas that have the most wear. And merino is not typically known for its durability and strength. So I would worry about that. But the yarn itself is very nice, very pretty, very colorful, and very fun. So next up, we've got this, which is some Polwarth and Polwarth blends that I just knit up a sweater in a design by Jessie May Designs. It's called the Helix sweater. It's coming out today, maybe? It's coming out soon. I did a test knit for it, and this is all I have left. But I used hand spun for it, and that was super fun. and it looks very nice. I'm planning on doing like a video talking about it. I got some clips of me talking about it while it was in progress, but it's just been so hot and I don't really want to put it on to show it off. But maybe I should do that, get it wrapped up and make a proper video about it. That would be a good idea, I suppose. All right, I'm getting some more ideas. Brim of a hat, sleeve cuffs, boot cuffs. Ooh, I like boot cuffs. Definitely got some ideas for what I can do with that fun rainbow yarn. Just need to decide on something. All right. Making progress, friends. We're making progress. Whew. Have I ever blended in mohair with other fiber? I have. Is there a reason behind your question? Like, are you questioning like durability or just like efficacy or how textures of wool and mohair blend together? I've also spun some mohair blends, some mohair wool blends that I didn't prepare myself. So Dion, let me know a little more specifically what you're wondering about, and hopefully I can help. How much fluff if you use for a sweater? Are you asking like how fluffy the mohair is as a yarn or how much weight you need for a full sweater? Because weight for a full sweater is going to vary a lot depending on your size. Like my friend Lauren over at Valkyrie Fibers she ordered like a pound of fluff for a sweater, but she's a lot smaller than I am, and I need more like 2 pounds for a sweater because I'm tall and large. But if you're asking about how much it's going to fluff up in the finished yarn, that's going to depend kind of on how you prep it. If you comb it, it's going to be much sleeker. And if you card it, it's going to be a lot fluffier. So let me know if that helps answer your question at all. What's a good percentage in a blend so it will be fluffy? Okay. I would recommend you do some sampling because what I think might differ from what you think, and I haven't blended for a sweater. And it'll also depend on how soft your mohair is and if it's next to skin soft. It'll depend on a lot of things. So I would recommend doing some sampling, maybe knit up a sample in the round. Where's my sample? I recently did this where I was practicing 2 colors in the round, and I made this little wrist cuff that you can actually wear, and that'll help determine if it's next to skin soft. If you can wear it here on your wrist, That'll determine if it's gonna be soft enough to wear on your body. So I would recommend doing some sampling, um, weigh out how much you want to experiment with, do like a 10%, a 20%, a 30%. I would start in that kind of range, and then if you want more fluff, go from there. Hopefully that helps. I see you said that's a good plan. So I'm hoping that that was some helpful information and that you feel a little more confident moving forward. All right. I think this will be the last skein because I am starting to get tired and ready for a break. I'm gonna grab some water. Just because I've been talking a lot, I think this is a little bit more work than just sitting and doing the skeining by myself, which is fine. I'd much rather do it with some people and have good company and be able to answer some questions and stuff. That's much more engaging than just sitting and watching TV and skeining by myself. So, thank you for being here with me today. I do appreciate that. Dione says, I love that I could use the cuff as a wrist distaff while spindle spinning. You absolutely could. You absolutely could. So it'll be a swatch, a sample for texture, and a wrist distaff all at once. Love it. Just love it. So this yarn is a 2-ply. One of the plies is a custom colorway from Lauren over at Valkyrie Fibers, who dyed up some Paul Worth for me. And the other ply is a colorway from Created by LCB. And I took those two colorways and plied them together. And this is the resulting yarn. So the yarn from Lauren is actually just this, which is looking a little bit more blue on camera. It's very pink in real life, very pinky purple. And this is 1 ply of that and 1 ply of like blue and brown and silver. And if anybody's watched the TV show She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, the purple colorway is based on Spinnerella. And I am calling this my Spinnerella Natasa yarn because they are a cute couple on the show. And I think that the ply from Created by LCB looks a lot like Natasa's colors. So it's kind of like their relationship in yarn form, which probably is pretty cheesy, but it's kind of how I like doing my crafting. I like there to be kind of secret hidden meanings sometimes. I find that very, very entertaining and happy. So Dione says, I really love that yarn color. Thank you. I love it too. Like I said, I just finished a really pretty sweater in this colorway, which I still have to post pictures of. So I should really get on that and get that done. Because like I said, I think that the actual pattern is coming out today or tomorrow. Pretty soon. So I need to get that done. I already finished the test knit and like submitted my feedback and stuff, but I would like to make an Instagram post so that those images are out there for people interested in the pattern. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up this skein. And then I think I'm gonna finish the video. I've still got 1 or 2 more balls of yarn that I could skein up, but I think I'm tired and I'm gonna wrap it up here, or when I finish tying off this skein. So if you haven't already and you're enjoying this video, feel free to like it to let me know that you enjoyed it. I see we already have some likes, and that makes me so happy. I really, really appreciate it. Just knowing that you guys are enjoying this content makes me feel really good about what I'm putting out there, and I'm glad that there's an audience who appreciates what I'm doing. So I see folks are saying thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sharing your time. Oh, I appreciate you guys. I really do. Some of you I know in person, some of you I don't. And I'm just so glad that we're kind of creating this little community. Perla says, I love all your videos. Oh, thank you, Perla. That is so sweet. Oh, you guys are making my day. I'm honestly very touched. I really appreciate that. You guys are making me so happy. I really, really appreciate that. Dion says, my avatar is adorable. Thank you. If you didn't see, I have stickers with her on it, as well as my name and all of my social media stuff. So if you place an order on my Etsy shop, you will get one of these stickers. And if you like it and you want a sticker just as a sticker, feel free to message me and I can arrange that. But here we have skeined all of our yarn. I'm going to go ahead and pull it all together to show you what we've done in addition to that rainbow, which I have already put away. But we just skeined up these 3, the 2 purples and the rainbow. And then we also did these 2 off of one of our bobbins, and then I already put away the fin rainbow, so I'm not going to pull that back out. But I'm so glad that you all joined me today. I'm so glad we got to hang out for almost a whole hour and a half. By the time I finish talking, it'll be a whole hour and a half. So I really appreciate all of you coming to hang out with me. I really appreciate all your support. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. And I will talk to you again soon. Like I said, I have a live stream every Wednesday around 1 o'clock, and I will have that scheduled in advance so you can check and make sure that you are here for it. So I will talk to you again soon, and I hope you all take care. Bye, friends.